Hello everyone, it's Maddie from Create Your Future. So I just wanted to come on here today and talk a little bit about what the purge means, how that can affect your manifesting journey, why it's even relevant in the first place, and kind of how to deal with it going forward and how you can actually, that's my dog, so how you can actually deal with that on a daily basis. And a little bit of a new technique that I found to be very helpful, especially if you're dealing with a lot of resistance, if nasty voice is kind of coming after you a lot, and how to tell between nasty voice and resistance, because that can be an important indicator on how to deal with things properly so that you can really get that push forward. And so you can, deal with things properly instead of feeling like maybe you're stuck or things aren't working in your favor, things like that. So we'll kind of talk a little bit about that today. So before we get into it, I will kind of mention the contest that we're having. So when we do reach 100,000 subscribers, we are giving away 3 free sessions to people that are subscribed to us. So a way you can do that to enter our giveaway is subscribe if you haven't already. We'd love to have you follow this journey that we're all on and get advice whenever you need it. And also just get some updates from us whenever we post videos. It's always very helpful to click that button, even have the little bell icon so you can get reminders whenever we upload videos. Totally your choice, up to you. But also comment down below things that you're manifesting. We'd love to hear from you. I know I love reading the comments of like where you guys are at, what you guys are manifesting, some success stories. And I love manifesting with you along the journey to make sure you are as successful as possible. Also like these videos and we will enter you into the contest. So if you would like to book a session with me, you can do so by clicking the link below. It'll take you to our website. You can request me for 30 minutes or an hour. Up to you. I would love to hear from you and help you through this journey so that you can get your manifestation as quickly as possible. I'm definitely a big believer in that. I'm one of those coaches that likes to do it as quickly, easily, effortlessly as possible. And I know I can advocate for the other coaches on here too, that they also would love to help you as well. So we'd all love to hear from you. So let's get into what the purge means, why it's relevant, and how to deal with it. So I've actually been having this come up a lot lately in my 3D, not necessarily my own purge, but people mentioning the purge and trying to get an understanding of it. So I thought, that'd make a really good video. And I know this could probably relate with some people that may be looking for some answers and want to know why maybe this is happening. So I'll kind of give you a little bit of an analogy of what that even means. So I'm actually going to steal a little bit of an idea from Ani, who's on this channel. She gave this visual, I don't even remember, it was a while ago, but I always loved the analogy, so I'll give her credit for that. I know that she's talked about the purge before as well on the channel. If you want to hear her insight, definitely will advocate for her. She's a great coach, but I will grab my cup really quick and kind of give you this analogy. So obviously you can't really see like where my water is in here, but whatever you want to relate to, it could be orange juice, coffee, whatever in your cup. So let's just say that I have my negative, thoughts, beliefs, things like that. So let's just say it's like this much of the cup, right? That's all the things that I've been believing, thinking about myself, about other people in relation to what I'm manifesting, things like that. And let's say I start my mental diet, right? So I'm all this water, whatever is going to pour into this cup and it's going to start overflowing. But while you are manifesting, you might get, for example, let's say you're manifesting your SP. That's definitely a big topic on this channel, is that you'll have this negative stuff right here, but then you'll start pouring in the, the good thoughts, the good beliefs, tackling some of those things and definitely like hitting on them, persisting in them. And so what you might see at first is all these great things. Like you might manifest a new person, or your person comes back and they're pursuing you. They're giving you all the things that you've wanted, yada, yada, yada. And let's just say as your cup overflows, it's getting mixed in with some of that negative stuff that's happened in the past, things that you might have had beliefs about before. And so what it might look like is that the universe is testing you. It's very weird, I know. And it can seem like things are kind of going backwards randomly. Like it doesn't make any sense. All of a sudden your person's like, I don't know if I want to be with you anymore. Or they kind of ghost you, or they ignore you for a week, or, you know, whatever's going on. So it's because this whole mixture in here has to come out. Like your cup keeps flowing, and that's what the persistence is that water keeps flowing through and filtering. It's filtering all that nasty stuff out, and it will actually give you the result that you want. But you have to keep going. And so the purge is relevant because, especially if you've had a lot of negative beliefs in your life about, let's say, relationships or money, you know, I have an unhealthy relationship with money, or, you know, something like that. That's going to have to come out somehow. And that doesn't mean every single time you're going to go through the purge. Usually when I've seen the purge, it happens when there's like a really big belief around it. You may have had it for a long time. You've seen many patterns around it. So it seems a lot more believable to you. And that's sometimes why we never come out of the purge. So this is not to discourage you. This is just the reality sometimes of the purge, is that people will believe in the old story again once they see the purge kind of filtering out. And that's when that old kind of like gross, muddy water gets mixed in again, and you'll keep reliving it. So not only did you go through the purge, you started believing in the old story again. And that's why the purge can seem like it's happening for a long time, especially if you've been manifesting your person for, let's just say, months or years. It's because you kept believing in the purge. So that's different than nasty voice. Here's why. So nasty voice wants to come hinder you from your journey. We've talked about nasty voice a few times. I'll kind of recap you on what that is if you haven't actually heard my nasty voice kind of explanation. But basically, that's when you hear your negative thoughts. So let's just say, for example, I'm like, I want to manifest, you know, money, right? And let's just say I've had a really unhealthy relationship with money. So let's just say my belief is it's really hard for me to manifest money, and I have to work really hard in order to get it, right? So let's just say I'm like, nope, manifesting money is easy and effortless for me. Manifesting money is something that it's like the easiest thing I've ever done. I've never manifested something so quickly in my life. I have a healthy relationship with money. I don't have to do anything, and it comes like the snap of a finger. You know, these are some, you know, intentions that you could grab if you want to, if they resonate with you. But let's just say I'm saying that, right? And nasty voice is going to come up and be like, no, it's hard for you to make money. Bye. You know, it's going to be kind of a butt to you. If I'm being totally honest, it's going to be a butt. And so it's trying to discourage you. It's trying to tell you can't do it. You're not good enough. You're not worthy. Insert whatever, you know, negative belief you've had there. And it will remind you of that, especially right away. It'll be like, no, not happening. Not for you. And that's when you're like, no, I know myself better than you. I know that you're just bored and you want to stay relevant. Therefore, like, have a nice day. And that voice will, you know, get bored of you because you're not really giving into it anymore. And therefore, it just kind of goes away because Susan over there, whatever name you want to give that person that might be like next door to you or whatever, she's going to start crying if I tell her she's not good enough. So nasty voice is going to want to go over there instead because you got boring. You stopped believing in what they were saying. That's the point of nasty voice. You don't want to believe in what they say anymore. They're just trying to deter you on your path. The purge is different because it's not trying to deter you from the path. It's showing you like, hey, by the way, this is a really old belief. I'm filtering myself out. This is not nasty voice. This is an actual thing that's coming up in your 3D. Okay, cool. So that's the difference between nasty voice and the purge. So when you see the purge in your 3D, if it seems really random, if it came out of nowhere, you can pinpoint the belief that you've had. It could be, I'm not good enough to have a healthy relationship, or I've never been pursued and prioritized in my relationships. I've always been, you know, second option, or I've always been the person that they've dated before they got married. Whatever the belief is, there's a lot out there, you know. That's when you know that's the purge. You can, you know, identify it, acknowledge it. This is where we release resistance. So we'll get into that in a minute as well. Kind of cutting corners when it comes to resistance and kind of dealing with it in a different way. So when you see the purge, acknowledge it for what it is. It's okay. It's not like it's going to keep going, especially if you're like, oh, I just see that for what it is. It's just filtering out. Okay, cool. So I know I'm on the right path. keep reminding yourself that you're on the right path, especially if you see that evidence of the purge, especially if it came out of nowhere, like everything was going really well, you've had a really good mental diet, and then, you know, all of a sudden that old thing pops up. Don't feel discouraged. See it for what it is. I intend that I've crossed over that bridge. I intend that I am at my end result. I intend that this is, you know, old news. I'm never going to see this again. Like, not a big deal. Because I saw this, because I recognize it's the purge, I'm getting what I want even faster. I have my old story as a definitive belief even quicker now. It's already, you know, gotten into my subconscious mind. Stuff like that. You can even intend for that. Like, I intend that this is now my new belief. The purge is gone. You know, because you don't want to keep living in the purge. So you can acknowledge it for what it is at first, but you don't want to keep giving it that meaning, so you keep sitting in the purge. Like, you want to get out of the purge, you know? So make that an intention if you feel like you ever are in that situation. A lot of us do find ourselves in that. Totally normal. Keep reminding yourself that that could be a part of the process. It doesn't have to be a part of all processes. That's why you sometimes see people manifesting things really quickly. Let's say a cup of coffee or conversation with somebody, old friend, you know, old SP, whatever. You don't have any resistance towards it. You don't necessarily go through the purge. You just get it. So here's where the resistance comes in, right? Let's say we're going through the purge, and let's just say I keep seeing the same thing over and over again. I feel like things are testing me. That's a normal feeling, you know, it's fine. How you can actually get through resistance is become the resistance. So there is this saying that's out there. It's very popular in the manifesting circle, is what you resist persists. So kind of in my mind, I think, well, just then don't resist right now, right? So we'll dive into that. What does that look like? So let's say my person keeps telling me, I don't want to be with you. I don't want to be with you, right? So in my mind, in my 3D, I'm not going to fight them on it. I'm not going to be like, oh my gosh, like, be with me. Because then I'm trying to manipulate the 3D. I'm not actually trusting that I can create. I'm manipulating. I'm trying to get an outcome. So yes, I want to get this outcome, and I will manifest it through my mental diet. But when I'm trying to go out of my way in my 3D and try to make it happen, that's how you know you're not trusting, you're not living in your wish fulfilled, however you want to relate to it, living in the end. That's how you know it's manipulation. And it's okay, we've all done it. Usually we start chasing. It's because we're putting it on a pedestal. So release the resistance. How can I do that? So let's just say my person keeps telling me they don't want to be with me. We'll go back to that example. Then fine, you know what? They don't want to be with me. I'm acknowledging that that's happening right now. I'm not acknowledging that that's going to be my future, or that's going to be 5 minutes from now. I'm acknowledging that right in this present moment, that's how it is. How do I feel about that? I don't like it. It makes me feel this way. So I'll kind of show you what that process looks like from my own personal experience, right? I had an old SP. He told me he didn't want to be with me anymore. Randomly. Other girls, third parties, everything you could possibly be afraid of. That happened with me, right? So that was the purge. Huge purge, especially because I had a belief that, and I've mentioned this before, this was my own belief, this is why I bring it up, because it is actually kind of common, is that I'm the girl that people meet before they meet their spouse. I'm always the in-between girl. I'm never the girl they really commit to. I'm always a side chick, you know, stuff like that. So that would always come out. There'd always be third parties. I started getting cheated on randomly, you know, stuff like that. So that's where that kind of played out. Finally, that stopped happening. I stopped getting those results when I was like, you know what? This is the pattern that I'm seeing. This is exactly how it's been. This is how it is, right? And this is what I'm seeing right now. How do I feel about it? I'd even ask myself this out loud sometimes. How do I feel about it? I'm like, this makes me feel unworthy. This makes me feel like I'm not good enough, that I'm never going to get what I want, that I'm doing this for nothing. So I'm saying all this not because, you know, I'm telling you to like keep telling yourself that, but like we've all been there. This is something that you can relate to. We've all had those thoughts. And sometimes I'd really cry about it. And I'd be like, maybe I'm just not, right? And it's not because I actually believe that. So here's where the resistance, you know, breakdown comes in. So as I became the resistance and I acknowledged where I was at now, not trying to change anything, I acknowledged it and I sat in it. So not everybody agrees with that. That's fine. I've noticed that my resistance went away very quickly when I did that. I released my emotions that I needed to release. And those beliefs that you are good enough, that you are worthy, that you are significant, that you are the first and best option, they're waiting for you to be like, to break that resistance to get there. So the things that you have been intending for, the things that you want to be a belief, they're just waiting for you. So if you think about it that way, that there might be like a little curtain in between, it's just waiting for you to like throw back the curtain and be like, ah, there you are, you know, glad I got through that. So some people, especially in the manifesting channels, will be like, no, like you just have to intend right away. Don't like give into that BS. This is as if you keep going back to that feeling, you keep going back to those thoughts. That's when I'd say be the resistance, still have your mental diet. So you can get through it that way. And then when you feel okay, when, you stop feeling so crappy, you kind of have your moment, that's when I would, take it genuinely, like have my moment. And then I would be like, you know what, because I did this and I released all my resistance in that moment, that means I'm absolutely getting what I want. And keep reminding yourself, like, I can feel this, I can have this thought, I can be I can cry, I can be angry, and I'm still gonna get what I want. You can still make it mean you're getting what you want. Make everything mean you're getting what you want. Oh, because I recognize that I'm going through the purge, it means I'm getting what I want even faster. I just released that resistance. So make everything mean that you released your resistance, you've gotten over the path, you're all good. So that's just kind of cutting a corner with the resistance piece, getting through that purge that you might be experiencing, and really going forward just, with your journey, because this is all just temporary. And you could even remind yourself that too. This is temporary. This is not forever. This is a bridge of incidents. Maybe I was supposed to go through this to get what I want, because we're giving it a positive meaning. Even if we reacted, because I reacted, that means I'm getting what I want even faster. And that just means I'm always going to get what I want because I'm the creator. I'm the person who, I just have to trust myself. At the end of the day, it's about trusting me. It's not about trusting that person if they're going to conform. They will conform. They will absolutely conform. Like, they have to. So the only reason that they wouldn't is because you would kind of wave in the white flag and be like, oh, because I'm seeing the purge, they're never going to change. And then you just keep going down that path. Like, we don't want that. So I hope this, explained a lot more things to you. I intend that it made sense, that you can take some of these tools, go forward, use them to get exactly what you want. Hopefully it works out even faster, because, in this manifesting journey, we want things and we want them now, which is totally fine. Also, don't feel discouraged if you don't get them in 5 minutes. Doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. Just sometimes mean that, maybe, let's just say you want a cupcake. Someone's going to have the idea to get you that cupcake, especially if you want it for free. So, or it might happen the next day and someone had some epiphany in a store that they're giving cupcakes away that day for free, and you happen to find out. Like, be patient with yourself. It's coming. You just don't always know what's happening in the background. So I'll give this analogy is, we're sitting here watching a movie. You're watching a movie of your life. You're not the director. Like, you're not sitting here trying to micromanage absolutely everything. You are the creator, but basically you're only seeing the movie part. You're not always seeing, like, people that are doing everything behind the scenes, which is where the actors start playing things in the background and yada, yada, yada. And that you don't see all the bloopers right away, stuff like that. You might see some of them. Maybe you saw a bloop reel, like, in between. That's cool. But at the same time, we're going to imagine ourselves sitting, watching our own movie. And that's when we see all the behind the scenes that really went into making our own movie. So the how is none of your business. Don't worry about the how. If your mind's really stuck on the how and that's your resistance, allow your mind to think about how many ways that you could get the thing that you want. And then kind of when your mind's done wandering, because that's a really natural part of, just being human, is your mind wants to figure it out. That's just natural. So if your mind's doing that, allow it. Don't try to resist it. It's going to keep trying to do it. And then you could even tell yourself, it doesn't matter how. Those are some great options. But you know what? It will probably happen in a very weird way that I can't figure out right now, or it's going to happen in a way that makes me 10 times happier than I could come up with, whatever reasoning you want to give it, and then just kind of go from there. A lot of people get caught up in the how and the when. It doesn't matter when, doesn't matter how. And when you kind of release the resistance of how and when, you'll actually get it 10 times faster, I promise. Coming from experience, I promise. So believe in yourself. You can do it. I intend that all of you get exactly what you want in the time frame that you want it, even on the day that you want it. I intend that there's no resistance for you, that you break that resistance, that you have this breakthrough even after this video. I intend that you find this video helpful, and I can't wait to see all of your comments, to see what you've been manifesting, and I can't wait to work with you if you decide to book with me. So hope you all have a wonderful day.